Hi everyone! Today we're looking at the latest book from Anastasia, Elly, Koldareva. It is called Memories, and if you've seen all of my previous reviews of Elly's books, you will know what the books look like if you've got them yourself. This one is no different in terms of its size, shape and format. So it is a square book. It has a spiral binding down the left hand side and it has a cardboard back so that you can have something nice and rigid to lean on when you're colouring. So this one is slightly different to the rest though, because with Anastasia's previous books, it was always all about the portrait of the person. So you'd have that portrait and there would be florals and botanicals around it and incorporated into it, and sometimes animals as well. But this one is meant to look more like an album, like a photo album or a memory journal. So I'll show you what I mean as we go through. The first page is a space for you to put any photograph you would like to put. It could be a picture of you or a loved one or a place that you've been, anything like that, you can put that there. And she's also drawn some botanicals here and told you what they are. Now the titles are here, I'm not even going to try and pronounce them, but as we go through the book you'll see that any plants or things like that are named, so that's really good for finding reference photos when you're colouring. So this is how the pages are kind of made up. Rather than it being one big portrait with some botanicals, the portraits are now sort of captured and contained into what look like photographs. So you would stick these in an album, put some dried pressed flowers in the album, maybe draw a picture of some of the insects that you saw that day or anything really. It's like when you have these memory journals, memory diaries, you might put leaves and seashells and train tickets and all that kind of stuff on the page. So I don't really know much about scrapbooking. I did want to try and get into it a few years ago, but I realised it was a very, very deep hole of a money pit basically, because you can go on forever and ever buying different papers and washi tapes and ephemera and all kinds of stuff. So I would love to do it, but I'm trying to keep away from it because I know I'll end up spending a ridiculous amount of money if I get into another hobby like that. So yes, as you can see, we've still got botanics and florals and people and animals, but it's just slightly different the way that she's composed each page. So you can see here we've got our photograph, and then these, again, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but the titles at the bottom, the name of the flower and also the name of the insect. Now, sometimes she will mention a country on the page. We'll get there in a bit and I'll be able to show you. But when the country is on the page, it might have flowers and botanics from that country that's also illustrated with it, and insects and animals from that country as well. So this one is like lily pads. It's got a little bit of an Asian theme, I think, this one. We've got frogs and we've got dragonflies as well. This one is like a bridal image. It's gorgeous. You can imagine this being in a wedding album with some pressed asters. I can pronounce that one. And this has got, what's this? It's got an airmail stamp, but I'm trying to see. I think this might be Russia. It looks like Cyrillic text. So maybe the asters are found in Russia. I don't really know, but I think that's how Anastasia has done it. It's almost like it's a photo album of different places in the world with the things that you might find in those places. So I think this is a cyclamen. I don't know. Again, botanics, and then this gorgeous portrait in the oval here. It looks quite old-fashioned and maybe Victorian. It's got that look about it. But lots and lots of variation in the book, you know, that obviously with all the botanics and the animals, but also with the portraits themselves, there's a lot of variation, different ethnicities and different eras and things like that. This is a plumeria, and we've got a crab at the top as well. So I think this is like a beachy sort of vibe. It looks as though it is. And then we've got a lady and a horse with dahlia, and then nymphalis. I don't know, I think that might be some kind of either moth or butterfly. It looks a bit more mothy to me. And again, with the old-fashioned sort of style, this little girl, she's got all the frills and You know, it really gives that look of an older time rather than something more modern. And then again, we've got ladybirds and adenium, I think this is called. So here we've got a male. So Anastasia's books predominantly are female portraits, but she will chuck a few blokes in there sometimes. And she does really, really gorgeous illustrations of men as well as women. So this is really nice. Obviously, we've got the dreadlocks to colour, different skin tone to experiment with. And then obviously the botanicals as well. So this one, does it have a country? It says Newark here. Now, is that Newark? There's an airport, Newark, in America, isn't there, somewhere? But there's also a Newark County in the UK, but I don't think that's where this one's from. So I don't know. I'm going to guess America, but I could be completely wrong. But yeah, we've got a little locket here for you to colour a bit of jewellery. She looks very prestigious. And you've got some berries here as well. Gorgeous, gorgeous illustration here. So she's got the braids, beautiful hair, and this one is actually stamped Brazil. So both the bird and the plant will originate from Brazil. That's what Anastasia has tried to incorporate into the pages. And this is a really good book as well for those of you who love Anastasia's work and portraits in general, but are a little bit scared to colour something so large, because many of these are contained in smaller areas on the page. So you don't have as much skin and hair and things like that to do, which is really good. So I think I would say this would be a good one for a beginner with skin that might not be as confident to do a larger image of a person. So this girl's got her hair tied back, lovely loose beachy waves. And we've got freesia on this one and a really weird bug. Oh, gorgeous. Look at this hairstyle. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I don't know if we've got a country on here, but we do have some insects and obviously the plant as well. It's not something that I have come across, I don't think, so I couldn't tell you what plant it is. Obviously, you've got the Latin name here, but you can look that up online and then get all of your colour ideas and reference images there. This is just a stunning portrait. I can't take my eyes off it. So here we've got a couple portrait, and I think there's a few of these in this book. There isn't a country stamp on this one, so it's a free image, so to speak. Just trying to figure out what these are. You know from previous reviews that I am no good with identifying botanics. Obviously we've got the Latin name here, so I could look that up. But yeah, what a gorgeous image. It's a lovely little memory, isn't it? You can imagine this being an engagement or something like that. And again, not too much skin to colour, so that's really good. This one is super interesting. This is Peru. So obviously this plant will be a Peruvian native plant, as would these insects be. And they are so strange. Look how spiky they are. I've never seen anything like that, but obviously I've never been to Peru. So, but what really gets me about this one is the way that this girl is dressed. You know, it looks almost like blankets tied around her. It's not so much that she's got, you know, the usual top and trousers or what have you. It's all blankets, and it gives you that culture, that sense of culture in Peru. It's really, really nice. Okay, so this one is Paris. So I know a little bit more about Paris. We've got some postcards here, and this is a rose. So nice and easy to identify. And I'm just loving this older lady portrait. She's more of a mature lady, and she's got this this net veil, I suppose, that it's like affixed to the hat, isn't it? And it goes over the face. But yeah, just gorgeous. There's such a variety in this book. So here's another one with a couple, and this time with a little baby. I was going to colour this one because I absolutely love it. I don't think we've got a country on this, but we do have an insect and a plant. Again, not sure what kind of plant this is. It looked slightly hibiscus-like, but it's not got the things in the middle. I know what I mean. You're used to my rambling by now. Okay, so again, this one has very regal, almost Victorian-ish looking clothing. It's we don't really have all these bells and whistles and frills anymore in modern clothing. So yeah, I'd love to know the inspiration behind some of these images. Sometimes it's obvious, like with the countries, and sometimes it's not. This is gorgeous. So I think this is India. Yeah, India's on the stamp down here. And the mother and daughter duo, it's such a lovely image. And we've got, oh, they've got this kind of weird, it almost looks like a praying mantis, but it's got these big wings. I don't think mantises have wings, do they? I don't know. This is called curcuma. I wonder if that's like the cumin spice. I wonder if that's anything to do with that. I'm not sure. Gorgeous image. Then we have Thailand. This is another beautiful one. So we've got a couple of stamps, and then you've got the gorgeous portrait. It's a young girl. She's got like a parasol going on, and lovely jewellery, flowers in the hair, and those are depicted over here in larger format as well. This one, does this one have a country? I don't think so. Oh, I don't know. I can't really read that. Anyhow, this one's quite interesting because instead of it being your usual photograph border, this one looks like a very torn, old, worn photograph that somebody might be carrying in their pocket, maybe throughout the war or something. I'm creating all these backstories. But yes, I can't wait to see this book coloured. And I say that about a lot of books, but I really can't wait to see this book coloured specifically because, like I said, there's such variety. The illustrations are so unique, and there's so many things you could do with them, as you'll see when we get to the page that I've done. Now this one, Anastasia tells me, this is not a photograph, this is a drawing. That's why we've got the pencil and the eraser and the pen, and that's why his hair isn't quite finished. It's a part finished drawing rather than a photograph. So don't think that she's missed anything out up here. That was done on purpose. And again, absolutely beautiful male portrait. Just stunning. This is another gorgeous one. I love these beachy waves again with the hair. The look on the face, the expression. It's Anastasia's illustrations, I've always said, are so lifelike, and so they draw you in. You know, you can really see emotion in the eyes and the expressions of Anastasia's subjects. She's just immensely talented. And this is the one from the front of the book. So if I just close it again, you can see what it's like coloured. And this is a really nice one. It's got bees on it and honeycomb, and I love bees, so, you know, I might end up doing that one next. Right, now here's mine. And before you you're probably looking at it thinking, what is going on here? So let me explain. This page didn't have any of these kind of embellishments on them. This is all things that I've added at the end of colouring it. Now, I wanted to make it have that scrapbook journal sort of worn, almost oldie worldy look feel to it. So I started off by colouring this image of France, Paris with some Neocolour 2 in a kind of watercolour wash style. So I went over the whole thing with a very light orange just to give it that wash of colour. And then I added in bits of colour here and there just to pick out some of the details. But I didn't detail everything on it. I wanted it to have that soft watercolour kind of unfinished look. And I think I've achieved that, even though I'm not very proficient with water-based media. I'm quite happy with how it looks. It could be better, obviously, but I'm happy. Then I coloured in the lavender, and then obviously the girl in the photograph. So again, I wanted the photograph to look worn and have that almost sepia look to it, a bit of oldie worldy style. So I was using the neo colours to go around the edges of the photograph and into the photograph as well. You can see there's a big patch here and on the wine. Again, just trying to make it look a little bit stained, a little bit battered, a little bit worse for wear, like it was an old photograph. Hopefully I've achieved a semblance of that. And then I was thinking, well, it looks a little bit unfinished because I've got this little bit of watercolour up here. I've got the photo and then I've just got some lavender, but there was a lot of white space around it. And again, I just wanted to make it look a bit more like something you would just stick tickets in or whatever, a memory book. So I continued with the same two neo colours around the edge of the page so that it would all look a bit worn and weathered. And then I started adding little bits of stickers and things to it because I wanted to turn it into a bit more of a mixed media piece. Now I used Prismacolors for all the coloured pencil work, Neo Colours for all of the wet media, and then I wanted to add some other mixed media onto it as well and really make it a mixed media project. So I've added washi tape, bits of washi tape. I've got this scalloped one across the top, and then I've got this little bit of a stripy one here. I've got a dotty one here, and then these kind of circles at the bottom in the same sort of colours that I wanted. Now, like I said, I would love to fall into the world of mixed media and junk journaling and all that kind of stuff, but I just know that I can't go there financially. I'll never financially recover. So, but I do have bits of, you know, washi tape and things, and this is the bit that I use. Now, I couldn't tell you where I got this from. I've had it for years in the drawer, but it's got all these different things on it, and it was kind of within the same vintage sort of colour scheme. So I stuck all that on there, random places. Then I found this little card saying, "Let's be adventurers, darling." That came on a piece of ephemera that a friend made for me, that I've kept in my drawer, and I thought, I was looking through my things and I was trying to find little bits and things to stick on it, but I couldn't. So I found this anyway, and then I put some distress ink over it because it was bright pink, some like brown distress ink, and then I went over the letters a bit roughly with some Posca pen. So it says, "Let's be adventurers, darling." And I just thought, this woman, she's exuding this kind of personality, you know. She's got a glass of wine and she's very hoity-toity. I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel like that's something she'd say. So I stuck that on again with a bit of clear washi tape. And there's a few different stickers that I received from, I used to have a pen pal in Australia or New Zealand. You know, my memory is absolutely rubbish, and I'm so crap at keeping up with things, as you know, from like my lives and my colour alongs, that I'm a crap pen pal. So it ended up that I just didn't have, I don't know whether I didn't have time. I'm going off on a tangent here, but it didn't end up sort of continuing the pen pal back and forth because it was just, I was never finding time. I was, you know, just never sort of, I've been going through a lot as well. But anyway, you know what I'm like. So I found these stickers that my lovely old pen pal sent to me, and I stuck some of those in there. So we've got roses and flowers and ones with like little postcards on and stuff. And yeah, I've rambled on a lot about this page, but I just wanted to sort of go through it with you bit by bit to see what I'd done. I know it could be a lot better if I'd have had more ephemera and stickers and things, but I was really just working with the very limited supplies that I've got. But I do quite like it. It's very different to anything that I've ever done, you know, especially with stickers and things onto pages. It's not something I often do, but I think it works for the theme of the illustration and the theme of the book as well. Hopefully you think it does too. But yeah, let me know what you reckon. I did enjoy it though. You know, it's something I would quite like to do more often, make it look a bit more mixed media. Okay, and then we've got, I think this is the last page. Yes, it is. Now this is stunning, and it's really, really eye-catching as well, because, let me get a piece of paper. So on this side, you've got the beautiful young girl. You know, it's the very essence of youth, the gorgeous, soft skin, no wrinkles, anything like that. And then on the other side, you've got the older version. So this is really, I like to say, experienced, characterful face, you know, or every line is a story, you know. The natural aging process, I find that absolutely beautiful in the times now that we live in, where people are trying so hard to not show age, and they're changing their faces and stuff. And obviously this is another tangent, but I just find faces that have been left to age naturally are so much more beautiful to me, because there's character, you know, they're all unique. And yeah, anyway, tangent over, but that's why I really like this page, because it just shows like youth, and then, you know, the growing into maturity, and the wisdom. I feel real wisdom that comes with this page. And I think these are thistles. It's called the Carduce, but I think they're thistles. watched Braveheart the other day, so I was actually going to do this one because they have a thistle on the Braveheart. But anyway, tangents over. There is the review anyways of Anastasia's book. It is the same paper as she always uses. It's good for pencils. The wet media that I used did slightly buckle the paper, but it's nothing major. I can probably iron that and it will be fine. Didn't come through to the other side, but it doesn't matter because it's one-sided. So yeah, there you go. Any questions at all, please do let me know in the comments, and anything you want to talk about. If you've got the book, if you want to get the book, you know, anything that you want to say about the book, I always love to hear from you. There will also be information in the description of where you can buy this book if you want to. And I think that's everything. So thank you very much to Anastasia for sending me this copy. I always love getting Anastasia's books, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. So I'll see you soon on Colour with Claire.